The Jerome Stakes is the first 3-year-old Derby prep at Aqueduct, beginning of this series, of following up from the Remsen, and that's at a mile and an eighth. This one is at a one-turn mile. Always have to remember that at Aqueduct. It's the 8th race on the Saturday card for the 3-year-olds. And this is we haven't seen Studley Do Right. Certainly is the most prominent of the group here, having run at Saratoga and had been running the Nashua in a couple of stakes races. The rest of these are, um, there's a couple of them that look like they're on their way, but there's a lot of question marks about quite a few in this field. So it does make for a pretty good betting race, I'd have to say. Just looking at the front runners to start, Enduring Spirit just isn't good enough. Cheap Speed, easy toss. Mancetti, I went back and forth with, is very interesting. Those of you who watch my posts know I love the synthetic to dirt angle, and I don't think Kevin Attard would bring a horse down from Canada unless he thought this one had a chance. Won on the front end last time, which is not easy to do at Woodbine. And if you look, the early fractions were pretty brisk, and he kind of crawled home in the stretch. But moving to dirt, obviously, it's a little easier than it is on synthetic, and they're rock fit when they leave all weather to get onto dirt. The concern I have is that he had run in a stakes race two back, and they moved him back to a Canada bred stakes race to get that victory. And so I do have a couple of questions, mainly about the class more than anything else. But he could make things interesting pace-wise if he's as keen as he was in that race now on dirt. Georgia Magic just broke the maiden, but wasn't really that impressed with it. Didn't really beat very much, and again, I think it's kind of cheap speed, and I don't like in this spot. Cyclone State is who I settled on to win this race, and it'll become more apparent as we talk about the others. First of all, it's a one-turn mile, and Aqueduct, it is speed favoring for that distance. So this horse has good familiarity with it, has run a number of times at a one-turn mile. And the last one I liked. It looks to me like this horse is getting better. You see that class level gradually improving. I think he's going to have to take another step, but he looks poised to do it. Should be able to get on the lead, and then it's a matter of catching him. And looking at the others coming from off the pace, I'm not so sure that any of them really will be able to. Well, let's talk about them. Let's first with ICANN for Dick Dutrow, who's smoking, as is Chad Summers with Cyclone State, by the way. Dutrow is definitely on all cylinders. His barn is right now, and ICANN is one that I think has more to offer. Stumbled at the break last time and has had some gait issues, but barring that, you take that away, and he rallied to run a pretty good race and looked like he had more in the tank and was closing ground. So with a little better break, and certainly, a horse who's a 3-year-old, they sometimes they don't work out these problems for a while. But if he can just get a better break, I think he's one that does look like he can move forward. And his running style, to me, indicates that he might have a little more in the tank in terms of acceleration late. Meaning, what I mean by that, he's not quite a grinder. He's a little bit better than that, and that's why I kind of like him as the second choice here, 8-1. I think you're getting a good price for a hot barn where a horse is liable to improve here. So I like in this spot as well. I think he definitely could pull it off. Studley Do Right, to me, this horse doesn't. I'm not sure this one's really getting better. That's really my big knock. He had some nice races over the summer at Saratoga, but I thought it was really telling prior to the Remsen that John Robb moved this one back to Laurel for a state-bred stakes race, an ungraded stakes race, and it just seemed to me a weird move. It was kind of like, let's pick up an easy paycheck, and he did. He got one. But in the Remsen, now granted, that is at a mile and an eighth, and I think distance is a big time question with this horse. So the 1 turn mile doesn't really bother me. But he just, I just didn't get a good feeling about him. Certainly not the Remsen, because he had every chance to win that race and just couldn't do it. The Nashua, he did win it, but he did it in kind of a plodding, grinding style, sort of outlasting the rest of the field. And visually, I just wasn't that impressed with him. And 5-2 in this field, I really find it hard to back him at all, to be honest. But, I think he's good enough to get underneath, but and maybe he can win this race. Maybe he'll take a step forward. But I just haven't liked what I've seen from him so far, and that just sours me on him. I want to look for a little bit better value in a race where I think you should. Now, McAfee, last time was on the rail, and he lost to Optical. And watch what he does in the Smarty Jones if you can run it beforehand, if they do. And that may give you an indication of what to expect from McAfee in this race. I didn't think it was a bad effort. I thought he was he was running well late, but he did have the rail. He saved all the ground. Optical had a tougher trip and seemed to have more horse in the tank. So now he's 2-1, the favorite in this race, and honestly, I really just don't see it. I know he's for Dick Dutrow, okay, but I need more than that to tell me that this one is going to take a step forward to win the race. And at 2-1, I just don't like him. Underneath, I can see it for sure, and Puncher's chance to win, I guess, but I just think he's an underlay, and so I'd rather use him underneath. Now, Omaha is been doing all his running around 2 turns, and now he's cutting back to 1. And race shape-wise, I don't know that that's good for him, because in the last race, he was pretty far back, and once he got it going, he showed a really nice turn of foot, and I think this horse is a 2-turn horse for sure. From what I saw, he closed and won very nicely at Laurel. But I don't know that he's 1 turn is not necessarily going to be a better fit for him. Maybe this is just a prep. Maybe I'd probably like him a little bit more when you get to the Withers. But right now, I think he's in good form. I liked what I saw from him, but I just think race shape wise, he's going to be up against it a bit. So to me, Omaha is a horse that you use under at a good price at 8-1. So the wagering strategy, we're going with Cyclone State to win it. I think he'll get on the lead. I don't think any of the other front runners are really going to bother him. Maybe Mancetti a little bit, but this horse looks like he should be able to handle it, and I think he'll be on the lead, and he's going to be tough to catch, mainly based upon the running styles of the horses behind him, most of which are kind of grinders, with the exception of Ican, I think, is a little better than that. So we'll take the 2 of them, 6-3 cold, and then we'll do 3-6 cold for exactas. And then we'll do a saver with 6 on top with 4, 7, and 8 underneath. Trifecta, 3-6, 3-6 with 4, 7, 8, and then 3-6 with 4, 7, 8, 3-6. I think it's a good betting race. I think you've got a very nice value play in Ican. But whether or not this race is going to have any Derby implications, hard to say at this point. If I had to think, one of them can maybe get into the realm of a contender for the Derby. I think Ican probably represents the one that looks to me can make that move forward, but we'll see. Hope this analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. Wish you the best of luck as always. And of course, if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. Check out our other postings on the Derby preps that are run this weekend, the Smarty Jones as well as the San Vicente out at Santa Anita. So we've got 3 preps. It's on. The Derby trail has set forth, has begun, and we'll see what happens here. So that's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.